Alright, let's get into it. Friday morning's speech by Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell at Jackson Hole might just be the biggest financial event of the summer. Now I know there's a lot of noise flying around, so let's break down what's really at stake. Just a week ago, almost everyone on Wall Street thought a September rate cut was basically a done deal, like, with 90% certainty. Fast forward to now, and those odds have slipped to around 70 to 80%. That's still likely, but definitely not set in stone. Investors are getting nervous. We've seen the S&P 500, NASDAQ, the Dow all dip leading up to this speech. People are pulling money out of those big tech giants and looking for safer bets, which honestly is never a great sign for short-term market confidence. Options traders are also bracing for a wild ride, a swing of almost plus or minus 0.8% in the S&P 500 by week's end. That's a lot more volatility than usual, and it tells me that no one's quite sure what Powell's about to say. So what are the possible scenarios? Let's run through the three most likely outcomes everyone's talking about. First, there's the dovish pivot. Powell signals more aggressive rate cuts than expected. That would send stocks, especially tech, soaring. But most analysts say this is a long shot. Second, the boring scenario. Powell sticks to the script, basically confirming a September rate cut and maybe one more by year's end. If that happens, markets might sell the news or just kind of shrug. And then there's the wild card. Powell takes a hawkish tone. He pushes back on rate cut expectations, maybe even hints at delays. If that happens, we could see stocks pull back sharply. Some analysts say anywhere from 7 to 15%. But here's why this is so complicated. The economy's sending mixed signals. Inflation's still sticky, especially in services and wholesale prices. The labor market is cooling off. It's a classic stagflation dilemma. Nothing's clear-cut. And don't forget the politics. President Trump is leaning hard on Powell, demanding rate cuts and questioning the Fed's independence. Oh, and if you're watching gold or crypto, gold dipped a little as the dollar got stronger, but everyone's waiting to see if Powell's words send it bouncing back. Bitcoin's off about 10% from its recent highs. Some traders are nervous, some see a buying opportunity. So, bottom line, Powell's speech Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern is a make-or-break moment. Rate cuts might still be coming, but with all this uncertainty, don't be surprised if Powell sounds a little more cautious than the market wants. I'll be watching, and you should too, because whatever Powell says, the market's next big move starts here. Subscribe to Money Matters channel and stay tuned for more updates.